So an edge would be for when you use your strategy and you found out from your strategy that on Wednesdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, you have a better win rate than if you're trading on a Monday. Or you've got a stock that it has a particular volume of shares. Your strategy works better when the volume is up above 100 million or something like that.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Trader Over the Shoulder. Today, like always, Alex is with me and we're gonna talk about strategies and finding the edge in the market. Obviously, if you missed the first episodes, please go ahead and check them out and like and follow us all over the place: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, you name it. So let's start.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I think for me and my trading buddies or friends that I wanted to, this is the reason I actually wanted to do the podcast, was the strategy. How do I make money in the markets? And I remember I said, what's the strategy? Yeah. And I remember yesterday I said to you about, let's talk about edge, want to know about edge, but you were like a bit hesitant about edge and more up for talking about strategy. So what is the difference between an edge and a strategy?
Okay, so basically when you told me about it, I said you wanted to talk about edge, and you actually, and I already told you, we talked about it quite a few times when I said the edge coming from your statistics. So as soon as you start trading, you get some data, you analyze the data, and this is the edge of each individual trader, right? But then you mentioned something about strategy, and we said, okay, let's dive into that. And like you said, is there a difference between edge and strategy? Yeah, a strategy is just one tool, a set of rules, but one instrument that you work with when you're trading. The edge is not coming from your strategy, because there's tons of strategies, right? And you're not really, even if you found a unique way to trade or whatever, there's no really such thing. But let's say you did, you don't really have an edge over other competitors, other traders. So this is not the edge. A strategy is basically a set of rules that you gather. You know how to execute a trade. You know what's the parameters to get in the trade, what's the parameters to get out of the trade, how to find the right asset to trade, stuff like that.
So an edge would be for when you use your strategy and you found out from your strategy that on Wednesdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, you have a better win rate than if you're trading on a Monday. Or you've got a stock that it has a particular volume of shares. Your strategy works better when the volume is up above 100 million or something like that.
Exactly.
That's the edge. And then
that's the edge. And most people never get to the point when they have a real edge in the market, because they don't work with the numbers, with the data that they're gathering, or they're trying to jump from one strategy to the other. Have you ever had that?
My problem now, yeah.
Okay.
That's why we're talking now.
So let's talk about a little bit. Let's go deeper with the strategies. So first of all, like we said, it's a set of rules that you wanna apply in order to trade properly. Okay, that's like a general definition. Yeah. There are two other things. First, we understand why we need those set of rules, right? Yeah. Some traders don't trade with strategies and just randomly go in and out of trades.
Can they be profitable long term like that?
No, not long term. No doubt about it.
Can you be profitable without having an edge?
No. There is no such thing.
Okay.
I mean, you can do it for a month or 2 months or whatever, but if you want to do it as your career, really make money out of the market, you gotta have the set of rules, why you enter, why you exit, what's the risk management, how you're going to handle the trade, how you're going to manage it, and then gather the data that will say, okay, this, and that, do that, and continue doing that. So this is why you need a strategy. The problem is, and this is probably your problem as well, when you jump in between strategies, is that sometimes you tell yourself that it's not working, this strategy is not working. So we need to understand why it's not working. Because let's put it that way, like on a default level, most strategies work, But the problem is with us as traders. I used to jump from different strategies, back and forth, trying this one, this is not working, trying this one. It's actually not that breaks and
Retests.
stuff like that, they work,
Yeah.
right? But the problem is two things. First of all, it's human behavior, right? So if I'm getting into that position, taking the right breakout, let's say,
Okay.
but eventually I'm not taking my profits, or I'm putting my stop loss too close, or stuff like that. So the strategy is not working. No, it's me that I'm not doing the right thing with that strategy that called breakouts, let's say.
Okay.
Okay. Second thing is cycle. The market has cycles. Most people say there are like a phrase or whatever that a lot of people are saying that the market is changing, right? The market not really changing. It's just a cycle. There's always going to be a period of times when the market will be more volatile, more bearish, more bullish, more stop hunting than
Usually.
than trend following, for example. So it's not really changing. It's just changing is the cycle, like the Earth going around the sun. Sometimes you're in the summer, sometimes you're in the winter, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then, if you, let's say, in the summer, a very quiet environment, but you're trying to trade breakout,
It's not gonna.
not going to work,
Yeah.
right? The strategy will work perfectly on, let's say, Christmas time. It's Christmas, everybody, hyped with the holiday season and all of that. So breakouts will work perfectly. So you gotta understand, first of all, have some strategies, build like 3 to 5 strategies that you can work with. 2 of them will be your main strategies, the strongest one. And then understand the cycle of the market.
So when you say cycle of the market, like every micro cycles, you're having impulses and trending days, and then you have corrections, and then balances, and then same thing. The market goes up and down all the time, and then obviously the macro is, let's say, the long-term bull market, and then a correction, the bear market.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about, those kind of cycles.
Yeah, but it could be like a major cycle when you're looking from above on a weekly chart.
Yeah.
But it could be also a 1 minute chart.
Okay.
It's the cycle of the 1 minute chart of that day. But above that, you have, like, for example, right now, the market is dropping, right?
Yeah.
So before it started to drop, like for the last
Few months.
No, but I mean, a week, the last week it was
Okay.
pretty
Yeah.
bearish, right?
Yeah.
Every day dropping down. So before that, you had a lot of volatility, that a lot of bounce up and down. So this was a great trading time to go with one of the strategies that I'm using. I call it SMM. So basically, finding a support level and buying from the bottom or selling the top, right? So playing with the range and the volatility. But for example, the last few days was good place, so good time to follow the trend, because it was a trend. So you have a bounce up, retest to the, pullback
Yeah.
to the resistance level, and then dropping down again, stuff like that.
How do you know then? How do you identify if market is trending or if it's ranging. Because, obviously, let's say I'm a crypto trader. I think on Bitcoin it's been dropping for the last few months. And I had an area for about 90 days where it's just consolidating, and now it's just finally dropped. It's continuing the trend. So when do you know where to use your strategy? Is it, let's say, how do I know when to use this trending strategy? How do I know when to use this ranging strategy?
That's a good question. I guess we need a chart a little bit to go to the charts in order to really understand that.
Yeah.
But actually, it was one of our colleagues here that worked here, Yamir, that actually we talked about a few days. We talked about the market conditions, and I told him that I took long on the S&P or the Nasdaq S&P. It bounced up. It was a great trade. I didn't take a partial. I actually waited just a little bit more for it to reach the 200 EMA. It didn't do that. And as soon as it bounced up, it reached the first resistance level and dropped all the way down. So in this situation, you can understand that the sellers are much stronger because the first resistance it touched, they sold and they were super aggressive. So then you understand that you probably going to see a continuation, so a trend following instead of bouncing up again. So those kind of plays. Basically.
So when I've got, let's say, different techniques, if it's breaks and retests, if it's trading a range, let's say if it gets to a support resistance level on low volume, then I feel like, okay, maybe I'm in a range, things like that. How do I start developing those techniques and then make that into a specific strategy?
Yeah, so I guess you start just a little bit before that, just understanding what types of strategies you have in the market. So you have like trend following, reversal, and range trading, and also momentum, right?
Okay.
So when it consolidates for a second and then popping up like flags and stuff like that. So those are the types of strategies that you have, like families. And from that point, get into each one of them and understand how to work or like sub strategies. So for example, pullback, right?
Yeah.
So you have pullback on EMA. You have pullback on a resistance level that became support. You have pullbacks of 30% of the trend before it. You have pullbacks of 80%, stuff like that. So from that point, as soon as you understand all of that, take one or two options and try to build from there. Most of the time, most of my strategies that I'm working with or worked through the years, I built them from just sitting in front of the computer and seeing patterns, creating. So yeah.
Okay.
Just build yourself strategies for each family, and from there start executing and accumulate data.
Okay. What about strategy for your personality? Because when I first got into crypto, the way that I was trading for a while is I always tried to swing. I always tried to get into a position and let that run. When I actually looked at my stats, probably about 80% of all my positive trades were all from trades that lasted for about 40 minutes to 50 minutes. And most of the trades that I left for over 24 hours were mostly losing trades.
Wow, that's a great
number. Yeah, so when I was thinking about that, it's like I really wanted to let some trade like be that kind of swing trader where you make most of the profits. But now I look at my stats, maybe it's not best suited for me. So how does one, obviously with the stats and stuff, but how do you fit the strategy to your personality? How do you find what strategy is right for you?
Yeah, so first of all, like when you're doing the technical part, when you're looking at type of strategies and understanding the sub strategies and all of that, that's one way to do.
Okay.
The other part that you need to do is understand your personality. So who you are as a person, as a trader. Are you a fast pace, 1 minute chart, 5 second chart? Are you looking to swing? Your eye, does it catches like a trend move, or you're actually looking for the bottom to buy and stuff like that? What is the risk tolerance regarding to that? So basically, as soon as you understand what you want to trade, don't go and these are the strategies that work right now in the market. I want to trade them. No, go and understand what I want to do. I want to trade forex. I want to trade crypto, stocks, intraday swing, high volume stocks. All the S&P, like the Nasdaq 100. Or I want to trade small caps. All of that. Understand what is your personality, and from there you can apply and find the right strategies that work to your personality and to the market conditions. Yeah. So, do you have time to trade at the opening bell or only at the middle? Let's say if it's stocks, the opening bell, the first 2 hours, or actually you're coming back from work or whatever, or you got kids at home and you can't really trade the open. You gotta trade at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So the end of the day is different from the opening bell. The forex market will be X when it's 9:30 in the US, but it will be different at 11 p.m. Right?
So it just really needs to be time in front of the computer, time in front of the charts, and slowly just looking and building up those techniques.
I mean, you can start with what already out there. What you know, what you learn from courses or whatever on YouTube. And from there, you will automatically build it to fit specifically to your needs. So just time and experience, I guess.
I think there's a good book, the Playbook, by the guys from S&P.
Right.
So how would you build up, or how have you built up your playbook over time? How would one build up their playbook?
Okay, so first, I didn't read the playbook before, but what I did is just take in the trade that I made, and obviously at the end of the day, every day analyze it, understand if it was the right trade to take, where did I exit, where did I put my stop loss, what was the reasons to enter the trade, and all of that.
Yep.
And even if it by the way, even if it's a good trade, even if it's a profitable trade, even if I made money, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right trade, right? Because a lot of people saying, okay, this is a winner trade, it was a great trade, it was a good trade to take. Maybe not.
Could it be risking way too much, and if it went the other way,
trade,
that's
you got lucky and it worked for you.
Yeah.
But any other day, it probably won't work. So understand that as well. But after I analyze the trades, just put them in on screenshot the charts, put them in like a slider, like we get a slide, and just building up, writing everything that I can, why I entered, what was the reason to sell, why did I take this amount of risk and not something else. Other slide could be, how can I improve and execute the trade better the next time? And as soon as you got like 20, 40, 50 charts in front of you, so with the patterns, the way it looks, and the way you execute them, then you just realize, okay, this is the one that I want. I really, for example, like one of my favorite strategies, at least the last 2-3 years, is actually trading on a 1 minute chart with the EMA 200. So I know we talked about the 420 as well.
Yeah, just blew my mind. I stuck that on my 420 EMA, guys. Stick it on your chart if you're a crypto trader and see how it gets respected.
You can do that if you trade in stocks as well,
Yeah.
and I guess also in forex, but I didn't check it. You can leave the comments and let us know.
Yeah, the 420 EMA. Crazy.
So, Yeah, so I've been using 200 EMA on the 1 minute chart on the large cap. So, all the Facebook and PayPal and Netflix and all those, NVDA. And basically, this is one of my favorite, and it became my favorite because I started trading it, started realizing or seeing it on the chart. I started trading it, got the numbers, got the data, I just put it on the playbook, basically. And every time it's the same thing, dropping down, popping up to the 200 EMA on the 1 minute, and boom, dropping down again. So from that point, as soon as you get the pattern, you can understand, okay, I will short it, one option, just short it after you see the 200 EMA blocking the price, and then start, or start to add up to the position,
When it goes up to the EMA?
As it getting closer to the EMA, you start in shorting, and then you got a nice chunk to start the trade. I made great money on those trades.
Yeah, it's like a version of break and retest. Breaks kind of a level and then retests a certain level, breaks down an EMA and then retests the EMA.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it might be open below it with a gap and bounce up to it, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily that it will cross it in the retest.
So you would say if I'm going to start a strategy, let's say I'm trying to break and retest, which actually I quite enjoy a break, a level of retest and then backward break and then retest.
Why do you enjoy it?
I enjoy breaking let's say breaking a specific level and getting in on a retest of a 618 fit. That's something that I enjoy doing it because every time I do it, it seems to work. So that's why I enjoy doing it. But you would say that when I'm first building my playbook or building up my strategies, to stick to just one strategy and only do that for a certain period of time and then move on to another strategy? Or can I take a couple of different kind of strategies? Because I feel like my problem is I'll have this one strategy, but then I've got other techniques that when I see them happening, I tend to then jump onto that, and I jump onto another technique that I know, and then suddenly I've got a book of stats that are just all over the place with that strategy, and then I don't really know which ones to pick. My mind gets a little bit muddled up.
So let's start from the beginning. First, you said you like the Fibonacci retest, right? But this is only one parameter, the Fibonacci retest. What happened before the retest? How the chart looks like? Are we in an extended move or breaking through a certain, a sideway or whatever? Just try to maybe find it just a little bit, understand what happened before that.
So look at market structure,
analyze the market structure just before that.
Yeah.
To give you, I guess, a little bit better picture, to understand when it's better than the other. The other part that you mentioned is basically try to focus on this one, get as much data as you can, build it to be the strongest strategy that you're working with, and then continue to add the second one and the third one and so on. Okay. Now, one thing that you need to remember, if it's the right, two things. First, check if it's the right market conditions to trade retest, and the asset as well. And the other part is, actually forgot, but
how would I know if it's the right market condition?
Okay, what is retest? We're talking about trend following. Trend following.
Yeah.
Momentum will be a breakthrough of some resistance level, a consolidation, whatever. But this is a trend following. So if we are in the right market conditions of trend following, like I mentioned before with the S&P or the Nasdaq, you reach that resistance level and didn't continue up, just they throw the price down. So this is a great opportunity to start building the trend following, because it drop in, retesting, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that.
Fair enough. What would be the? I reckon I know what your answer is anyway. But the biggest problem with newbie traders when they're looking for their strategy, is it strategy, just hopping each strategy or changing all the time? What would be the biggest mistake they're doing?
They're switching from one to
Just
another
hopping.
without letting them really work with a strategy, building that strategy, and be focusing on that. Because it's easier to jump from one to another and saying it's not working for me, and I guess they didn't prepare themselves to the right strategy, right? Because we mentioned before, what is your personality, what is the market conditions, what do you like to trade, what you want to see, what you want to trade, and from there, if they're jumping around, they probably won't be able to, get the right data, and it's easy to lose focus.
Yeah, going in circles.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And the difference, I kind of know Mickey's answer to this as well. He's going to say, for let's say more experienced traders, it would be not looking at their stats enough and building their strategy or improving their strategy from the stats that they're learning, correct?
Yeah,
More experienced
and
trader.
if you're an experienced trader and you're not doing what you just mentioned,
Yeah,
they probably
not profitable.
they're probably not profitable. It's simple as that. You can trade 5 years, you can trade 10 years. If you're not looking at your stats, if you're not doing the whole process of understanding and getting better, improving,
You're running around in circles.
yeah, definitely.
That's quite interesting because I see, that have been trading for 7 to 10 years, and they're still stuck in that place of jumping from strategy to strategy. And
Just trying to find their self in this environment. But again, they're not doing the process that they need in order to proceed to the goal, in order to get to that.
So black and white. Again, you said multiple times, but black and white. What would be a step-to-step process that you would take if you had to go back again with everything that you knew from the 15 years you've been trading? What is the black and white process from step 1 to step profitable?
That's a great episode.
For another one, you're gonna make us all wait.
Yeah, but I mean in general, right?
Yeah.
First understand the risk that you're taking to all of that field of trading.
So how much money I'm gonna put?
So how much money you're gonna invest in this trading career of yours? Build yourself a place where you're trading. Not in front of just sitting on your sofa with your laptop or your iPhone or whatever. Talk to your wife, your girlfriend, or whatever. Just not explaining the process and what you are going to do, the amount of money you are going to risk, the amount of money you are going to invest in, and all of that.
Okay.
And obviously tell yourself, okay, this is the X amount of money I'm willing to lose.
Yep.
I opened an account with $50,000, I'm willing to lose 50% out of it. So no matter what, first, you know that if you lose 50%, you're getting out of the game. And secondly, you're coming much more prepared because you got plenty of hair to play with.
Yep.
So this is the first part. The other part, what you want to trade, who you are as a trader, a little bit more psychology and personality in it. And from there, I started trading, obviously learning how to trade, start trading, get stats, playbook, and all of that. Yeah.
Okay. Where do I learn to trade? If I've got strategy, there's millions of strategy. I bet everybody, if you look on YouTube now, you type in MACD divergence, you're gonna have thousands of strategies. Where do I learn these strategies? Or is it just you can take a basic strategy and just make it work?
Yeah, this is why I said, most strategies will work, but the guy that execute them is not. So this is why they fail. And so you can literally pick one that you feel more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like the indicator or the price section or whatever, and start trading that. Analyzing every time that you trade, like I said, you want to trade retest with the Fibonacci, fine. But what was the market structure before that? How it will react during X time, different time, the asset, how it's reactive and all of that. Just sit in front of the computer and turn your eyes, on charts. I think it's like a doctor when you learn
non-stop.
Yeah, but you learn at school. But after that, if you will have like thousands of surgeries, you will become better just because he's doing that and you understand what he needs to do and the market condition of the guy or the girl that is surgery.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right.
I'm gonna take some of that, and I'm gonna come with you, show my stats soon.
Waiting for that, definitely.
Fantastic. So next episode, what we're gonna be doing for the next day? I'm actually flying away soon, so I think Miki will be doing it with Saul or somebody else.
Yeah.
But,
we're actually gonna talk about something that probably will be in your interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going. Saul and I were going to talk about managing the trade. So scaling in, scaling out.
The place where I want to be. I've been waiting to.
This is why we chose that episode.
While I'm gone.
Yeah. So you can listen it on Spotify.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, thanks, guys. That will be done next week, managing the trades and stuff, and make sure you're subscribe to our Spotify, Apple, using YouTube, all of those different places, and also if you are a Trader Pool trader or the Fivers trader, you've got the Discords and everything as well. So take care, guys, and we'll see you guys soon.